Hello Dogs fans, welcome to another episode of After the Dogs Roar for season 2017. And well, how good is it? How good is the feeling to have the footy back? A new season commencing this weekend. Of course, in this episode, I'll be previewing our round one encounter against Collingwood at the MCG on Friday night. Cannot wait to get into that game. Before I do that though, we're of course going to be speaking about the women. Of course, our women's side played their final game of season 2017 in the AFLW League against the GWS Giants at Manuka Oval. I'll be overviewing that game. Of course, the round 7 votes from that game are coming up as well. Very tight last week. Of course, Emma Carney and Ellie Blackburn were level on 14 votes each. So, of course, the votes are very important this week, as they always are. A look at where we stand on the final AFLW ladder. And then I'm going to be giving my 2017 season predictions. So that will include where I think we'll finish on the ladder, as well as the award winners for 2017. It's my view. So looking forward to sharing my predictions. And of course, we are previewing to a massive game on Friday night, our round 1 encounter against the Magpies. Cannot wait for that clash. So let's not muck around, let's get straight into the episode. So of course, our women's side were playing their last game of season 2017 against the GWS Giants away from home at Manuka Oval. This was a very important game, of course, not going to make the top 2 now, but in terms of where we finished, this was an important game. Of course, we were trying to avoid finishing last and getting that wooden spoon. No team wants to finish on the bottom of the ladder, so a lot riding on this particular game. Of course, we hadn't won a game since round 1 against Fremantle, so that's 6 weeks of 5 weeks of no win. So, look, we had the lead at quarter time by a point. No goal was kicked in the first quarter, only the 3 behinds, with GWS having 1 behind to the Dogs 2 behind. We had the half-time lead in what was a very tight tussle. We had the lead by 4 points. GWS Giants 2-1 to the Dogs 2-5. That was at half-time. At in the third quarter and the 3-quarter time score, we managed to kind of get away from the Giants and restrict them to only scoring 1 behind in the third quarter. And we kicked a couple of goals and 1 behind and had a 4-6 to 2-2 lead at 3-quarter time, which was very, very handy. And then in the end, we really did well in the last quarter to kick a couple of more goals, only restrict the Giants to kicking 1 goal in the 4th quarter. And in the end, we got a well-deserved win. The final score, the Giants 3-2-20, defeated by our mob, the Western Bulldogs 7-10-52. Congratulations to the girls. Fantastic win, of course. It was a long time coming, but it really was a fantastic win, a really good performance. And I think that's the best performance by far from the women in this AFLW 2017 league. So let's go through the goal kickers. Lamb kicked 2, Gogos, McLeod, Lambert, Scott and Blackburn kicked singles each, and the best players, Blackburn, Carney, Scott, Lachlan and Lamb. 6,460 people attended this match at Manuka Oval, so well done to the women. I just want to say that even though it wasn't the year that we would have liked to, it was still a success in many ways. And I'll speak about that more when we get to the ladder. But let's get in now to the all-important AFLW After the Dogs Roar Best and Fairest votes. So, of course, just like every other week, I had the ultimate task of selecting the round 7 votes for the After the Dogs Roar AFLW Best and Fairest Award. A hard assignment because it was a very tight leaderboard last week. Emma Carney and Ellie Blackburn level on 14 votes each. Absolutely massive coming into this final round. So here's my votes for our game against the GWS Giants. Let's start with my 1 vote. I've given it to Hannah Scott. She got 13 disposals, 11 kicks. She also got 3 marks and kicked a goal as well. So she played a pretty good game and was probably nonetheless the third best player out there. So that's why she gets 1 vote from me. Now I've given 2 votes to Emma Carney. She has been outstanding throughout season 2017 of the AFLW League. I've mentioned on several occasions that I didn't expect her to be the standout player that she is proving to be. She kicked 1 behind, she got 18 disposals, 10 kicks, 8 handballs, 1 mark. Probably not a best game, but she still had a very good game, and that's why I've given her 2 votes. And then finally the 3 votes goes to Ellie Blackburn. She had an outstanding game. She was no doubt the best player on the ground. She had the highest disposals for the game of 27. She got 22 kicks, 5 handballs, 6 marks. She was amongst it throughout the entire game. Kicked 1 goal, 3 behinds. Probably should have had 4 to be honest. And she gets the 3 votes for me. So let's now have a look at how that has affected the final leaderboard of the After the Dogs Roar AFLW Best and Fairest Award. So here we go, the winner of the 2017 After the Dogs Roar AFLW Best and Fairest Award is Ellie Blackburn. She's had an outstanding year. It was a close tussle, but she wins on 17 votes. Fantastic year from her. Emma Carney, she's had a fantastic year as well, 2nd on 16 votes. Hannah Scott has been able to claim 3rd on 3 votes. And then Katie Brennan, Kirsty Lamb and also Jamie Lambert all level 4th with 2 votes. But clearly Ellie Blackburn and Emma Carney have been the 2 standout players for us in 2017. And Ellie Blackburn, congratulations to her, winner of the 2017 After the Dogs Roar AFLW Best and Fairest Award. Cannot wait to be starting our, the show's AFL Best and Fairest Award next week. That will begin next week, of course, with my round 1 votes from the game against Collingwood. So that is the AFLW After the Dogs Roar AFLW Best and Fairest Award. And to finally wrap up the AFLW 2017 season, we wrap it up with where we stand on the ladder after round 7, the final round. You can see there that we finished 6th place. We avoided that wooden spoon and finished 3rd last, but I think 6 is a pretty good effort considering we were last week on the cups of finishing on that bottom spot. So fantastic stuff. Of course, the Brisbane Lions and the Adelaide Crows, congratulations to those 2, of course, off to the grand final at Metricon on Saturday. Looking forward to watching that game. And I have to say congratulations to our women's side. It wasn't the year we probably would have hoped for. I think we were hoping for a bit of a better year considering wins and so forth, but look, the first year of the AFLW competition, it was fantastic. A lot of people got behind it. And you know, even though we only finished 6 out of the 8 sides, I think our women's side should get a big clap and congratulations because it was the first year of the competition. Probably didn't know what to expect, and even though we only got 2 wins, it was still a pretty good season nonetheless, especially in the first season of the competition. So congratulations to our women's side. A bit of a clap there for our women's side, and looking forward to next year's edition of this competition. It's a growing hit, a big hit at the moment, and I think next year will get even better. Okay, time now to get into the 2017 AFL season, and I'm going to start by giving my predictions for this year's season, club predictions. This is basically where I think we'll finish on the ladder and also who I think will win the awards in 2017. So here is my thoughts. I'll start with the final ladder position. I think we'll finish 2nd. That's not saying that we won't make the grand final, because I think we're definitely a huge chance to make the grand final again this year. But I do have one team that I think might be hard to beat this year, and that's just my thoughts. That's just me putting my expert cap on and going away from my passion of the Western Bulldogs. But I think realistically we will finish second, and I think top four is a real realistic thing for us to happen. Of course, we improved from 2015 last year, and I think the trend will continue. We'll improve from last year, even though we did win the premiership. I think from a ladder perspective, we'll go from 7th up to 2nd in 2017. So that's my final ladder position prediction. On now to the awards. This is an interesting one. I think this might cause a lot of debate, actually, the Charles Sutton Medal. I know a lot of people have Marcus Bontempelli rated very highly in season 2017. A lot of people actually have him tipped for the Brownlow, which is fair enough, because I think he's going to have another outstanding year this year. And he will be up there, no question about that. But I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Luke Dalehouse. I think with him playing in the midfield more this year, I think it's going to bring the best out of him. So I think he's going to have a standout year, and I think it's going to be the standout year that will win him the Charles Sutton Medal for 2017. So I'm going for a smoky, Luke Dalehouse to win it, Marcus Bontempelli a clear second, and I've got Tom Liberatore winning the Gary Dempsey Medal for 3rd place. Of course, Marcus Bontempelli wins the Doug Hawkins Medal, 2nd place for me. The Chris Grant best first year player, Tim English is my pick. I think he's going to be probably the standout draftee out of all the draftees we drafted in the draft last year. So Tim English is the best first year player for me. We then have the Tony Liberatore most improved player. I've given it to Lin Jong. Last year he only played at the 16 games. I think he had about 40 odd marks, and he probably could improve on that season. Of course, last year had a sorry into the final series, but he did play in the VFL Grand Final, which was very good from his point of view. But I think he'll have an improved year this year. I think he'll win the most improved player, Tony Liberatore, most improved player. So that is my prediction. And the club leading goal kicker, I think Tom Boyd will kick a bag this year. He'll have a standout year. He'll have a more improved year from last year. Of course, we saw him in the grand final, how good he was. I think he is set for a very big year, possibly his biggest year in front of goals. Of course, the debate of whether he'll play that ruck role more now that Jordan Roughhead is out, it might kind of stir that up a little bit, but I still think he'll be in front of the goals and have a real impact this year. So that is my predictions. I know not everyone will agree with that, but let me know what you think. Who do you think will win the Charles Sutton Medal? Who do you think will get the best first year player? And who do you think will be the most improved? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. Always open to hearing other opinions. So now let's get on now to the moment we've all been waiting for, a preview to the round 1 clash against Collingwood. So it's finally here, our round 1 game. It is going to be absolutely massive. Let's get straight into it. Let's have a look at the details. It's Western Bulldogs v Collingwood, Friday the 24th of March, starting at 7:50 p.m. at the MCG. And this game, of course, live on free-to-air. Of course, those people who don't have Fox Footy will get a first look at our side in 2017, because this game is on 7. Of course, you can also watch the game in HD on Fox Footy. So there's a lot riding on this game. Of course, I think the big factor is Travis Cloke against his old side, of course, his old mob. A lot of people had doubts whether he would actually play in round 1, but he's had a very good pre-season, and I don't see why he wouldn't play in round 1. So looking forward to that. Of course, the Collingwood faithful reckon they're going to boo him. And I'm sure our supporter base will boo them back. So anyway, just getting into a bit of the facts from this game. We've won the past 4 clashes against Collingwood, one of them at the MCG, of course, last year. Lucky enough to be at that game. A chance to win 5 in a row, which in fact would be the first time since 1946. So that would be a very impressive thing to happen. Just a little bit of team news. Of course, the ins and outs haven't been announced yet because it is only a Tuesday as I record this, but we know that Tim English won't be playing this week. He has been ruled out by the Medico staff. Campbell has actually been passed to play, so that's very, very interesting. So he could come in if Beveridge doesn't want Boyd to play the predominant ruck role in this game, so that's very, very interesting. I don't know how much match time he's actually had though, so that's the only query. So maybe it might be wise of him to play a couple of VFL practice matches or something before he actually comes into the side. So, although I'd love to have him in the side because I think he would be, I guess it'd be good to have him as the sole ruckman, so we can have Boyd a bit more up forward and then rotating, etc. But that might not be the case. I think it might be just Boyd and then Cordy and also Cloak helping out. So that's kind of my prediction there. But Campbell, interesting, fit to play this week, and he may just do that, although I think it is a little bit of a risk. Look, I think we'll win. I think we'll win by 13 points. That's my prediction, and I cannot wait for this clash. I just cannot wait for the AFL season in general, but this clash on Friday night is going to be an absolute ripper. It's been a while since Robert Murphy's played a Friday night game too, so he returns to the Friday night stage for the first time in a while. Of course, didn't play any of the Friday night games last year. It'll be good to see him back, of course. It's going to be a very, very good game. Friday night, Friday the 24th of March, 7:50 PM at the MCG. You can watch it all on 7 and Fox Footy. Cannot wait. And that is it for this episode of After the Dogs Roar. Thank you very much for clicking on and watching. Of course, don't forget to like, comment and share this video. Also subscribe. Of course, many episodes of this wonderful show to come, of course, right up until our final game of season 2017, which once again I hope it's the grand final again this year. That would be absolutely fantastic. Of course, don't forget to check out my other content as well, namely the Ultimate AFL Preview and Wrap-Up Show. That's my AFL shows. Of course, the preview show is where I preview every game of every round, and of course the Wrap-Up Show is where I wrap up every game of every round. So go check those shows out. I'd really appreciate that. And until next week, I'm Jacob. Let's hope the Dogs can start off their season 2017 with a win this Friday night against Collingwood. Bye for now. Go Dogs.